Greetings, fellow captains. In World of Warships, gameplay at high tiers is usually vigilant, cautious, and methodical. But if you prefer bolder actions, Shatter is what you need. The Shatter map is designed for tiers 7 to 10 ships. The central archipelago stretches from the east to the west, leaving large open areas in the north and the south. A number of islands diverge like beams from the center of the map with Key Area B. And the two largest and highest beams on line G5 to D5, with standalone islands at C5 and H5, divide the map into left and right halves. Inside the archipelago, there's not much room to maneuver. A peculiar feature about this map is the way ships spawn on it. Each team has two spawn areas. This reinforces the ideology behind this map: divide and rule. At the beginning of the battle, many inexperienced captains would boost their ship's engine and rush to the center, hoping to hide in the smoke in case of a threat. But they usually have a dismal end, as no one can hide from a surveillance radar. And even if fortune favors the bold and they manage to capture the area, they can hardly hold it under control without support from the flanks. One of the tactics proven in multiple battles on this map is to conduct simultaneous flank attacks, capture bases A and C, and then push enemies away to open water. The team that plays passively and tries to stay in open water usually loses. On the right flank, large islands at Key Area C conceal ship movements. To spot where enemies are sailing at the start of the battle, you'll need either aircraft or a destroyer at E9 to F10. The island in the center of Key Area C allows players to, on the one hand, start capturing the area safely, and on the other hand, easily block enemies from doing the same. Under no circumstances should you sail around the island along Line 8 unless your team has done some reconnaissance of the area. Otherwise, there's a high chance to catch a torpedo or find yourself under concentrated fire from several ships at a time. Of course, you can outflank the enemy through the strait at E7 to F7, but that's a pretty risky move. It would be difficult to dodge torpedoes or retreat quickly if needed. The key to success on this flank is good reconnaissance and simultaneous attack from both sides of the island. On the left flank, the situation is exactly the opposite. There are plenty of islands here, but they don't provide reliable cover. Certain battleships can literally be spotted on this flank at the very start of battle. This is the domain of large calibers and long-range torpedoes. But those getting too involved in an artillery duel may forget that damage alone isn't always enough to win a battle. The primary task on this flank is to capture Key Area A and push enemy forces away to open water. To achieve this goal, you'll need cohesive actions and focused fire. If you only manage to capture one flank, it makes sense to put your efforts into capturing the central base. Going to the center on your own is a quick way back to port. That's why you should wait for some allies and enter Key Area A from different directions with 2 or better 3 ships at a time. Now let's say a few words about the tactics for each ship type, and we'll start with aircraft carriers. The islands at H5 and C5 look like they were created especially for them. But remember, captains, few allies will manage to come and save you in case of danger. If you attempt to fly your strike squadrons along the border of the map and sink the enemy carrier at the start of the battle, enemies will most likely detect them on the way. In addition, high-tier CVs feature powerful air defense, and the losses that squadrons sustain during an attack rarely justify the gains. Therefore, it is best to focus on conducting reconnaissance, covering allies, and attacking enemy heavy forces. For heavy ships from the right spawn point, the key lines of attack are G8 to F9 and D8 to E9. But don't forget about scouting. For the ones on the left, they are G3 to F2 and D3 to E2. On the right flank, cruisers with a surveillance radar should take position near the island at F7 to E7, so you'll be able to screen the entire base and prevent a possible breakthrough from around the island. On the left flank, they should stay at F4 to E4. Destroyers and light cruisers should focus on capturing key areas and fighting enemy destroyers. But as I've said before, do not try to capture the base without reliable fire cover. There's no doubt that coordinated teamwork is vital to succeed in World of Warships. So always keep an eye on your allies, the chat, and the minimap. And just hope all your teammates will be as smart as you are, Captains.